Hello, lovelies. Um, I'm not going to massively widely publicise this particular video, but I wanted to go on record with some of the misgivings and discomforts I have about this latest scandal. Things that are unsettling me that I want aired, or at least to have a record of, to some degree. Usually, when I cover drama in the gaming space, I try to zoom out and contextualize it, right? It's cheap and easy to exploit drama and point at people and say, look at these fuckwits or whatever. It does get you clicks, it does get you views, but I've never been comfortable with it, and I usually, as I say, I try to zoom out and contextualize it. But this is a lot more personal, because a lot of these people have gone after me to various degrees in the past, damaged my health and my career, and so it's impossible to completely disentangle my emotional reactions and so on. And it does mean that I, despite every effort and sinew I bend to the contrary, I cannot help but be somewhat biased against the targets of this. But equally, it does mean I can attest to the truth of the way these people have acted and things they've said and done to me and people like me. But, just to kind of heads up to people. I am concerned about the ethics of the person who wrote the article. Now, I don't doubt that much of what is in there is true and accurate, but if they got their information under the rubric of medical ethics, psychological ethics, academic ethics, doing a study, and then released all this information, I'm fairly confident that someone that has risen to their level has acted in according to ethics and disclaimers and things that people have signed, but still, it makes me a bit uneasy that this information may have been gathered somewhat unethically. But again, that doesn't really make any difference to the truth of the matter, and I think the greater good is probably served by making this information public. I am worried about the blowback to the author, which may be why the articles were taken down, whether it be legal, personal, professional, whether they've succumbed to a tidal wave of insults and threats or whatever. But I guess they made the choice to publish it themselves in the first place, and it's bigger than them. So, I don't know where I come down on that. So they withdrew the article and they deleted the files, and because the internet is forever, we've managed to find the article and the sound files, and we've made them available, even cleaned up the sound files and made them more audible and so on. But they chose to withdraw it, and they chose to delete the files. So I am uneasy with the fact that we went in and we retrieved this information, because that's obviously expressly against their wishes for whatever reason, whether they were threatened or whatever else. So yeah, that doesn't sit easily. I worry, and maybe this is stupid of me, because I want these people to face consequences of some kind, but I wouldn't want what happened to Zach, what happened to me, what's happened to others to happen to them, despite of everything that they've done. I doubt they will face any real consequences for anything that they've done. And I want them to face consequences, but I don't want them to suffer in the ways that a lot of us have. Even though they probably deserve it for the things that they've done, I wouldn't want anyone to suffer the same way. I'm concerned about the role that Zach plays in all of this, and it doesn't help, to be honest. I mean, Zach is a great case study, right? In that the things that he's been involved in have a higher profile, they're more easily visible. Zach's pedantic, autistic attention to detail means that he keeps records of everything. This is part of the reason he's such a gigantic arsehole. So in some ways it's good and it's understandable, but he's also a terrible focus because so many people don't have any sympathy for him. He is an unsympathetic character. He is an arsehole, right? He's a pedant who has terrible interpersonal skills, never knows when to let something go, right? So, yeah, even people who agree that he probably hasn't done what he's been accused of still won't defend him because they think he's an arsehole. And he is an arsehole. There's no getting around that. But that means that this, because there's such a big focus on Zach, it reads like an apologia for Zach, and that turns a lot of people off. Speaking of, the only way it seems to really get this message out and get attention to it seems to have been through me, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, right? It'll also spread through what you might call the Chud network, the RPG underground, because that's where Chuds live. That's not good either, right? There are plenty of people that will dismiss all of this just because I'm involved in exposing it, and just because it is being passed around the Chud network. They will claim that it's all made up, or that this is... I don't know. I don't know exactly what they'll claim, but they will find ways to dismiss it because of me, because it focuses on Zach, and because of the people that will make a fuss about this. Right? That's not good, but it seems to be the only way to get this message out seems to be this way, because there is censorship on Reddit and other places, and outright dismissal other places. So it seems to be getting a bit of traction, but not as much as it otherwise would have, I think. So I hope some other people on the other side, like the author of the article will come forward and start talking about this as well, or that someone in the media will pick up on it in some way, at least in the games media, or what's left of it. Some people who should be passing this around and making more of a fuss about it seem disinterested because they don't see how they personally benefit, or they feel slighted because the article didn't defend them. I mean, I'm in the same position as them. I don't benefit directly from this article or these revelations, but I think it's important. It is disappointing to me that some people can be seemingly so self-interested that they're unwilling to do what's right, but I think there is a kind of perverse symbiotic relationship between the more contentious people on both sides. Each feeds off the outrages of the other, and so benefits by creating an activated audience for whom purchasing those people's products is an act of protest and activism, a papal indulgence, if you will. But it's still disappointing. This is going to sound self-aggrandizing, but I don't feel the same self-righteous kick out of prosecuting this that these people seem to have admitted to in the article and the voice recordings. You know, if they say it feels good to do this, to be righteous and smite people, I don't feel that way. I don't understand their motivations. I don't grok the way that they feel or act. And if I can't understand something, I often feel uneasy talking about it. So that's something that's bothering me. I don't think this abuse should continue. I think we need a cultural change, and that has to start with each of us individually choosing to act differently. And I think we will have to be okay with forgiving these people if they're punished, if they make amends, and we should give them a second chance. And yet, at the same time, I know they will never admit that they were wrong. They will never apologize. They won't really face any consequences, I'm sure. I should be pleasantly surprised if they do. And I know that they would never extend that second chance to me or anyone else that they've gone after. But I think we have to be better than them, and I don't think a lot of people will be, unfortunately. But still, I think the greater good is better served by having this information out there. I am uneasy also with how many of their opposites on the political spectrum are taking this as an opportunity to stick the jackboot in, so to speak, and how obnoxious a lot of these people are. I don't want to replace one lot of horrible cunts with another lot of horrible cunts, or empower any set of horrible cunts. So yeah, that's uneasy. What I want from this, I will never get. Some form of petty revenge. I think I'm justified in feeling that way, even if I don't really mean it, using my conscious brain. But you know, that's something I think it's justifiable to want after 10 years of harassment. I would like an end to this culture, and I would like to see these people being punished and corrected and changing their ways, and we're unlikely to see any of that. I've seen the threads, or where the threads used to be, on Something Awful, Reddit, Facebook groups, other places. The amount of censorship and control by these people's tag-alongs and apparatchiks, it's all horribly reminiscent of Gamergate. You know, here's a group of self-righteous pricks who have acted poorly, unethically, corruptly. They've been exposed, and yet most places you go, a lot of places you go, at least the bigger places, the whole discussion is being removed, censored, ignored, deflected from, because a lot of the people, you know, mentioned in the article are quite influential on large Discord groups or large Reddit groups or whatever else. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Gamergate, and we all know how that turned out to this day. The amount of misinformation that was put out and the defences that were put out still cause issues. Lastly, I am terrible at receiving compliments. A lot of people are saying very nice things about my coverage of all of this. I can't deal with it, and don't build me up to be some sort of hero or anything. Maybe that's overstating it, but I'm deeply uncomfortable with that. You know, I've done horrible things in the past, never harassed people or done the kinds of things that they've done, but you know, I'm imperfect, I make mistakes. I'm not your guru, whatever else. You know, I appreciate the support and the sentiment, but be skeptical, even of me, please, and everything else. I think that's about it. I just wanted to put on record the things that make me uneasy, and it's not that I haven't thought about these things or don't recognize them. It's just that I think at the moment my assessment is that the greater good is better served by making all this public and available. Zang.
Everyone's so ordinary. They watch the world with blind eyes. Can't you hear them talking funny when you recite the same lines? If the robots win, we'll have to listen to techno. No, I'll never listen to techno.
I can make it happen. I can get you anything you want. You just have to talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm your priest. I'm your shrink. I'm your main connection to the switchboard of souls. I'm the magic man. The Santa Claus of the subconscious. You say it. You even think it. You can have it.